Okay, I think I'm streaming. Oh yeah, I wanted to open this real quick. One second. Yawn. It's 2:07 a.m. Kind of the end of my night, but I just wrapped things up. Talk about that in a second. Ooh, there it is. Did it update? Yeah, it did. Cool. All right. So real quick before I start, oh, what do I even talk about? The last thing I worked on was fishing minigame, right? Oh my goodness, that was a long time ago. Well, I don't know. It's been over a week, I think. Probably been like 8 or 9 days. I think it's been about. Actually, I didn't stream. Wow, is that true? I think the last time I streamed was in December. I remember trying to get the fishing minigame done before the new year. And I didn't quite pull that off. I think it was the day after. I needed one more day to get it done. So I wasn't too upset about that. Yeah, so if that's true, then it's been a while. Anyway, I finished the fishing minigame. I guess I'll just show this. Might as well. There we go. So yeah, last thing I worked on, fishing minigame. I got it done, as you can see here. And then I basically the last like couple days I've been doing a lot of like quality improvement kind of thing. And there's a few other things, but yeah, a lot of this did not exist between my last stream and this stream. It's just stuff that I kind of found that I needed to do. So yeah, I made it to where the map item on the UI. Oh, by the way, hi, how are you? I didn't even say hi, just went straight into this. Yeah, I made it to where hopefully the items on the map, on the UI, show up when they're supposed to. I changed something with the mini games, the way they accumulate charges, and I made it to where you can't actually start doing mini games until you get your first item, the meteorite. I made it to where you can actually battle the alien. You have to do, I think he starts with 600 health, so you have to do, what is that? That's 2200 damage to him. Basically, you'll need, I tested it by using the submarine upgrade along with the Mega upgrade, which makes your attack speed faster. If you have both of those, it's not too difficult to get this much damage. You'll get it. You have to go to a deep sea stage, so you have the most amount of time possible. But yeah, you should be able to get this off with a little time to spare before the anchor reaches the top of the screen, and it'll cause the alien to like run off the screen and drop his alien tentacle. So I set that up. I made it to where the plane flies around in normal stages. I did this like ready animation for the plane minigame because I liked it so much in the fishing minigame. If you beat the game, the minigames just show up infinitely. I also did something, I don't know if it's in here, to where if you beat the game, the mini bosses show up infinitely. There's one banner that the plane flies with that has a Konami code on it, and I just implemented that. So if you ever see the plane in game and it's got the banner that has up down down on it, you have to type in the code up down down, left right BA start. If you do that, you get 30 meteorite fragments. Just a little, what do you call that? Easter egg. I got rid of 2 of the banners that I thought didn't really fit the game. I added floors to the fishing minigame because I thought it made it look a little better. And then when I added the floors to the fishing minigame, I thought I would just like mirror them on an X scale. And then when I did that, I was like, why didn't I do that for all the maps? I might as well. So I did that for all the maps. So there's more floor variety. Also, I mirrored like some of the backgrounds too. So just more variety in stages now by just flipping the image. I put so if the plane shows up in certain stages, I made it to where the ship shows up in the plane mini game stage, which just kind of neat. I made this global for the Konami code, and then I was thinking, well, that's really dumb. I don't need that, so I had to remove that. But I included it here. That was just me creating extra work for myself before I realized that it really didn't need to be a global code. For the plane minigame, I added these like rings that you have to fly through. You'll see it if this picture comes back around to the plane minigame. But the rings are kind of like what you see in Pilot Wings. I actually made it as like kind of a direct reference to Pilot Wings. But if you fly through the ring, you get like a meteorite fragment. And that solved my issue of having the plane. Yeah, here it is, the ring right there. It's really hard to see green on blue. But yeah, that solved my issue with having it to where the plane just always flies at the bottom of the screen. Now if you want to get the extra loot, you have to actually fly to the top of the screen to get the different rings. They just kind of like randomly appear at different areas. I made a splash screen intro. That was kind of fun. We'll see that later. When I did the intro, I noticed that the title doesn't have like a fade in or a fade out, so I did that. I added some like fading in and out to a lot of different things actually. It's just like some transition effects basically. Like I said, a lot of like, just like little quality improvement things. I created different texture groups. When I started getting into doing loading screens, I started figuring out that I should have really been creating different texture groups, which I just never did. I put it all on the same page, which is a lot. If you ever noticed it, I would like play test a game, the game would like stutter real bad because I haven't loaded all these texture groups and my sprites are usually very big. But I've solved that, and I'll explain that when I get to it. But basically, one of the simple things I did, I just made 3 texture groups. The first one is just what needs to load for the splash screen. The second one is what needs to load for the title menu and options menu. And the third one is just everything else. So I figured what I would do is I'd make it to where when you start the game, it would immediately load what it needs to run the splash screen smoothly. And once you get past that, it'll load just before the title. It'll load that texture group so that everything that's involved in the title screen will be preloaded. And that way, basically by separating them out, I just wanted to load the smallest amount possible to get up to the title screen. Because I really hate it when games have like a really long load time right when they go into, right when you open your game. Or if they have like unskippable like splash screens and stuff. It's just, it makes it really hard to like, it makes it frustrating to play test or to troubleshoot your own game or the game. So there's just so many games I've played to where maybe I'll be like modding it or something. I know my game doesn't totally apply, but if I wanted to like change some graphic settings, close the game and reopen the game and try it out, or maybe I'm messing with like Windows compatibility mode. I want to open the game, close the game. It's just future proofing too. So the idea is that you can get to the title screen as fast as possible without having to go through a whole bunch of crap. So yeah, I set that up. I set up some stuff to where Shaw, he died, spoilers, he dies at the end. So I set up a couple things to where he should show like a little ghost, or it'll have the main characters driving the boat now. So I set that stuff up. There's like a ghost for like fishing and then the port menu. I set up a credits screen. I got that done. Ended up being a lot simpler than I thought it would be, but I kind of like it being simple. So yeah, it just says my name. I do some like plugging myself, or some shilling basically. So hopefully people will check out more of my game stuff or come visit these Twitch streams or the Twitter. This entire time I've been posting stuff to Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I post on DeviantArt. Of course, you know about YouTube and Twitch if you're here. So I've been getting a couple likes and follows every now and then. It's nothing too extreme, but I figure every little bit counts. It might help me get more wish list. It's kind of like the whole goal here. I created this like class grading system, and because I did that, I made this new scene at the end. I had to draw a new scene. It only took me a little while, but basically if you get a perfect score, 100% completion of the game, you'll get a different scene at the end to where Shaw actually survives, and then all this stuff doesn't actually happen, so he's actually alive in the end. But you have to yeah, you have to 100% the game to get that. I made new plain minigame GIF because I've changed so much of what it looks like, and I did some new screenshots. Also did fishing minigame. I did Overworld. I wanted the depth finder for it. I did a new Shallows screenshot, which you're seeing up here actually. Plain minigame, fishing minigame. I updated Steam, which we'll look at here in a sec. And then I actually learned like why I was making edits to Steam, but they weren't showing up, and I was like really afraid that Steam would have to like approve any changes I made. But it turns out if you're in Steamworks and you're wondering about this, or you know, just something to know, there's like a tab that you have to go to actually publish any changes to Steam. So you can like do all the changes you want to do, but unless you hit that publish button, it doesn't actually update. So yeah, it took me a little bit to figure that one out. It was actually right at the top of the screen. I just wasn't paying attention to it. So probably not that confusing, but it's just something to be aware of. All right, so yeah, it's my Steam page. I changed a few things here. So we saw some of these cutscenes. I did a new stage one because I had the backgrounds in it and it looks a little nicer. I kept this one because it looks fine. Cool with that. A world map, I have like the depth finder on it, and I show it just like the ship moving around because I figured that's kind of important. I don't really ever show the ship moving around on the world map. It's gonna be hard for you to see these, right? Because they're all so small. I don't think there's actually a zoom function for Steam Store, which has always been aggravating to me. Yeah, I can't actually zoom in. So I could click on them. I think it'll bring it up, right? Oh, there you go. Okay, you can see them. There you go. So well, let's go back and look at them all then. I'm gonna do it that way. So yeah, this is my first one. I just showed some items on the ground. Guy shooting, breath meter, anchor, you know, a little background. This one, mini boss. This one. So yeah, showing some movement. Still just kind of like showing the meat of my map, and then I just have the depth finder on screen because I wanted that. Yeah, so playing minigame. These are like the little rings. They just come in at random spots. Ship in the background. Just showing some like explosions and stuff. The UI in the top corner. Fishing minigame. This is what my fishing UI ended up looking like. Actually pretty happy with it. It took a lot of work to get this thing done. That's why it took me an extra day. But I like the result in the end. We'll take a look at all this stuff soon because I plan on playtesting the game. for the remainder of my night. I'm only going to be streaming for like 2 hours here, so I just thought I'd talk about all this stuff while playtesting the game before we get into audio, right? I wanted to like update you so I'm not dumping it all on the next stream. You know, we got this, I didn't really change these. It's the underwater scene showing like dynamic lighting, right? And then the ship, just different zones, showing the different upgrades, different enemies, different items. I still have this title screen, so Calamity Descends from the Heavens, but I ended up throwing this one in instead because I thought that I actually don't have anything other than like the pictures up here that actually show like the main cast. So I threw this one in because I just thought it was the cutest of the three. There's still this menu of the dock, and then I kept these ones in here, which is just like showing the different accessibility options I got in the game. I think some people care about that. I usually care about that. I like to know that there's key binding. Yeah, I figure like key rebinding is like one of the first signs that I would look for like quality in a game. If I see that, I just know that, okay, well, there's, you know, they try. It's just funny. That's like one of my first things, like, can I change the keys? So my gifts, I've got new gifts in here. A fun thing, you won't be able to read any of this. I've already read it before though. A fun thing to note is if you want the gifts to be the exact same size as the window here, like I have here, the gifts need to be 616 pixels wide. So you do want them to be as small as possible so that your Steam page loads quicker. So I tried to make them as small and condensed as possible, though it's still a little bit high, I think. But I don't think it's too bad. I think the 15 megabyte limit that Steam suggests is pretty low. So I went with like a little bit more. I don't know exactly how many megabytes is in these 4 gifts, but it's probably just a bit over 15, maybe like 20. So I still kept it as condensed as possible by like shrinking the screen and making them short, condensing the frame rate down a bit. If you want to know how to like make GIFs and stuff, I have a save here. Just one that I like to use. Go to ezgif.com. Just EZ, like the letter E, the letter Z, GIF.com. You can go there and you can convert your videos to GIFs. You can resize them, crop them, cut them. You're probably not going to get any like super good quality stuff, but honestly, I think it's fine. You don't need to do anything too crazy, right? So that's what I used and pretty happy with it. I've been using it for making GIFs for a while now, and it's totally free. You just go to the website and do it. And then the final bit here, a loading window. I tried to make loading windows, kind of like what I was talking about. And yeah, after going through like a lot of effort of going through these different rooms and doing these different loads, I just ended up coming to the realization that it's actually totally fine if I just load everything before the game even starts. It means the game takes a little bit longer to launch, which kind of goes against what I was saying, but honestly, the time it takes to launch is only like a couple seconds. Like, it only takes a couple seconds to load all these different textures. And then once they're loaded, the game runs great. Like, there's no more stuttering or frame rate issues, which is just a huge relief. I always knew that that was a thing, but yeah, if you want to load your textures and not have any stuttering, all you gotta do is do texture prefetch, and then the name of your texture groups, which if you go to Tools, Texture Groups, this is where textures are. So I created 2 new ones, but you usually just start with default, and this is just all the different sprites. You should be able to see that, though it is a bit behind my camera. Let me go here. zoom in. There you go. So yeah, this is like all the textures that I got. And then if you want to like change the sizes of your texture pages, I'm pretty sure it was like in file preferences or something. You can change the sizes. But yeah, I just put all the splash stuff on one, all the options stuff on another. But after all was said and done, I ended up just loading them all from the very beginning anyways. So it didn't even matter. I did go through and I gutted out all the unused stuff that was in my game. So all the unused fonts, all the unused objects, all the test objects, all the unused sprites. I think I got everything. Basically, I just did like, I cleaned everything up, made everything look nicer. Oh yeah, I also I did this like color thing. If you click on the, if you right click on the folder, you can do this color picker thing. I sometimes do this on accident, but I finally just like did it. And all you gotta do is change like the parent folder and it changes everything inside of it. I just noticed like a lot of times I would be like messing around in sprites or whatever, and then I'd be like looking for the object that I'm looking for, and it takes me a while to be like, oh wait, no, these are sprites and I gotta go up to the objects. But hopefully if I get used to these colors, I won't have that problem anymore, and I'll be able to look at it instantly and go, oh, that's green, that's not right, I want red. I want red for objects. And these are just the colors I picked. I did purple for fonts, blue for rooms, red for objects, pink for scripts, yellow for shaders, teal or cyan for sounds, green for sprites. You don't really get a lot of options here. I wonder if there's a way to like add more, but that's kind of like I got a lot of blues here. Be nice if there were some other colors to choose from. Technically black is the default color, but there's no white. But anyway, that's just a neat little thing. Look at this use group on Windows, Android, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One. I am very curious like how, I'm not going to mess with it until I've already published to Steam. But yeah, I'm really curious how hard it'll be to export my game to all these different systems. Because I know Game Maker Studio had like a partnership with like Switch, for example, or with Nintendo, to make it easy to export from Game Maker into the Switch. And I've just heard by like, I don't know, people talking in the subreddit saying that it's pretty easy compared to like back in the day if you were trying to port something. There we go. Yeah, back in the day if you're trying to port something to like a console, it was a whole like rebuilding the game, right? But I don't know, I might be able to like actually port my game to a lot of different systems. Would be cool. I'll definitely try and do everything possible, but we'll see. Another thing is I ended up moving all my globals into a script because it was getting kind of aggravating editing them. And I needed to do something to where like if you exit and go back to the title screen, I couldn't go through this initialize object anymore because I'm like doing these texture grabs. So I made it to where it basically just runs this script execute and this load options, and then it'll just take you to the title screen straight from the game, so you don't have to go through this menu. Plus, this thing sends you into the splash screen, so I kind of like streamline that a bit. I don't know if there's anything I want to show script-wise. Most of the stuff I did is nothing too crazy. I think the craziest thing I did was just the fishing minigame stuff. But then that gets kind of, I mean, it's not that difficult. like most of what I did, I'm gonna just look at the salmon real quick. They got an HP to V speed. I did different states because it's easier to track states. I finally I think I remember how to actually write states now without looking it up in a notepad every single time. I think it's about time. I just did it a bunch of times from memory, and I think I can remember it now. Like, right, if I do switch, let's do action. You do that, and then you do case, and then action 1. Colon, that's very important. Semicolon at the end here, and then everything you put in here is action 1. And then go on to the next action. There you go. I finally remember how to do it. I didn't have to look up anything anymore. It took a whole year. Actually, it's taken more than a year of game dev for me to actually remember how to do this. Shouldn't have been that hard. I was maybe relying on looking it up too much. Anyway, we got a timer. We've got this catch timer, this hook timer, all these different timers. Image speed changes depending on how fast the fish moves. This scale is just a local variable so that yeah, it finds what our scale is. I have to set this like left and right to be whatever the scale is because I didn't want to track like a direction, but and then I base how much loot you get to be based on what scale you get randomly. So the bigger the fish, the more loot you get. And each of the fish have like varying degrees of loot. So harder fish give more. And then I added a fatigue to the fish because I felt the fishing minigame got kind of annoying, where some of the fish were harder to catch, you know, way harder to catch than others. So I just have like this accumulating fatigue. The longer you fight against the fish, the more and more tired it'll get, and it stays in this like tired state for longer. I ended up drawing new icons for the fish. I drew a bit of artwork. Things for like cutscenes, the credits, the splash screens. But then there's just a few things here and there. I finally updated this cutscene has been bothering me. The one with the light bulb. I updated it and I just cleaned it up a bit. Also, the meteor that she puts the light bulb on, I just got a higher quality image there. So I edited those, make them look a little nicer, seeing as I was already doing artwork. And it didn't take me too long to do that. The icons for the fish, though, I added these. It basically is the same thing. I rotated it because it should have been facing right from the very beginning. But I have like this one where he gets angry, and this one where he gets he starts sweating. Basically, he's fatigued. So yeah, as fatigue builds, he'll be in this state where he's tired a lot more often, which makes it easier for you to drag him in. If he's ever in this state, it's really hard to drag him. He starts like running with the line. It's really, some fish, you end up breaking their line if you fight them while they're running. And it just gives it a little more, makes it a little more interesting. I changed the ripple because I didn't like the old ripple. Ended up making this new one. I think it looks a lot nicer. I had to do a lot of editing with this before I got one that I actually enjoy. Yeah. I'm just looking at more of this code. There you go. So I run this timer. I have the state that I'm in. We have a standby state. I don't know if I should explain all of this, but if the salmon, for instance, they've each got like certain behaviors of the hook that they're looking for. So the salmon, if he sees the hook creating splashes on the surface, which is what this is, then And if he's close to the bait, the lure, then he'll switch to this state, which shows that he's interested in it. I have this thing, if the timer reaches 60, it'll set like a random movement. Yeah, I've got some code that keeps them inside the room. And then I have this thing where if the player's hook is on top of them and the player's state equals reel, so you have to be reeling in the hook, it's going to increase this catch timer. And if this catch timer gets to 60, so basically if you have the hook over top of this fish for 1 second, it will catch this fish. Alternatively, if it rolls this random one, which is, I think this is a 1 in 100 chance, but this is a 1 in 100 chance that's run 60 times a second. So it could go off instantly to where if you just bring the hook over the fish, he just instantly bites, or it could take a couple, like, I don't know, it just makes it to where you don't always have to wait a second. Sometimes you'll get lucky and he'll just bite. With that as well, if you just press the button, or if you spam the button while you're in contact with them, you have a better chance, basically half of this. Actually, I think that's way better than half. You have like a 50% chance here, as long as you're pressing the button while the hook's over top of them, that you'll trigger it to catch. So yeah, if you want to catch a fish, bring the hook over top of them, and then just keep pressing the button on top of them. You'll probably catch him. Or you can leave it on top of them. This is finding which direction he's moving. This is for his movement state. He'll just move in the direction we've randomly assigned up here. And then you can also catch him during this point. The catch timer actually, like, one of the things that speeds up the fishing is this catch timer never resets. So if you fail to catch the fish, you still get like whatever you manage to get on it. You know, you don't lose that. So let's say you got it to 45 and nothing else triggered, but the lure is now not on the fish anymore. You won't be able to catch them, but the next time you come around to them, you only have to wait for 15 frames before it just like instantly catches them, because you still have the work you put in before. I just left it like that because I thought it made things a little nicer. And for this, like, the catch timer is really small on it, but for like harder to catch stuff like the sharks, they're like a lot harder to get them to actually hook on. So that kind of thing actually really helps. If he's interested, he'll move towards the hook. And then I have something here. If there's no more of these splashes, then he'll return back to standby. And yeah, if he's interested in it, he'll immediately hook. There's no like, you don't have to bother with any of this stuff. So if you can do whatever it takes to make the fish interested, then you'll get a bite. This hungry one is if you make a perfect throw, then it sets whatever fish is closest to be hungry, and they'll just immediately run towards it, as long as nothing else has been hooked. Otherwise, they'll go back to standby. And then when they're hooked, there's a passive state. If the player ever blows up the fish, then it causes this guy to blow up. If a player ever gets a victory, then it'll change this thing's state to equal to caught. And then it just kind of follows where the hook is. And I have all this stuff with the different hook timers to figure out like the behaviors of this fish. I usually set these like random horizontal speeds and vertical speeds, depending on what kind of fish it is how fast and which direction it moves when it is fighting. If the hook timer is over 200, then it will swap to this hooked fight, which means it gets aggressive basically. Sets up new timers. And then there's like something with direction. A lot of work doing all this. Once I got it down for like the jellyfish though, most of it was just like copying and pasting and then tweaking it for each individual fish. So it's not as bad as it might look, but it did take a while to get all this figured out. All this like reel and fish X is tracking the icons on the bar. Hooked fight, it just makes it like swim away really fast. And then hooked tired is what it goes into after it's fighting for a while. And this makes it to where you can reel it in a lot faster, and it doesn't really like fight you anymore on the bar. You can drag it all the way to the left really easily. If you catch it, it moves to be above the player, and then it turns white. That's what this white is. In the draw event, I just created this shader white, and this white is the alpha level of that shader. So yeah. Once it reaches 1, it does like this. It shrinks down as well. I'm wondering why there are 2 different ones here. Oh, as if you press a button. Got you. You want to skip past it, basically. Otherwise, it'll do the shrink down part. And then it gives you as much loot as he's carrying. And then if you don't have any of these progression points, basically if you haven't caught the fish yet, it will say that you've caught the fish, and it'll give you a percentage that reflects to that. And destroy itself. Okay, that's how fish work. I don't know. Like, in a way, it's complicated. I know, like, as a new player, as a new person, if you're looking at this, you wouldn't have a clue. But honestly, it's not that difficult. I don't know. It's hard to explain that, huh? I bet if I had no idea what I was doing and I looked at this, I'd just be completely baffled. But now that I, like, understand what everything actually means, it's easy enough to work through. You just have to take it like little piece by piece until you have it doing what you want. But it is hard to dive into code and pick it back up. Okay, I've talked for almost an hour. Let's play test the game. I can show some of this stuff off. Really, I'm just going to stress test the game right now. I'm going to have the camera turned off, as well as any sort of overlays, because I want to record the video. So that I can use it in a trailer later, maybe. And the things I'm looking for is I'm just kind of like getting an idea of what our average loot needs to be. What the economy in the game is, but I probably won't even play for that long. I'm really just gonna like, I think one of the big things that I want to test, I noticed in a couple like playtests I've been doing, the saving and loading hasn't been working quite the way I want it to. So I really need to stress test like every step that I reach like a certain new stage in the game. I need to save the game, completely quit out, and then reopen the game. That means like there's 50 progress points in my game, right? Here's my script, by the way, for the globals. Yeah, these are all the globals in the game. And then all these progression globals, all 50 of these are the ones that, you know, the different stages of the game. This is what actually matters when it gets saved. So every time I like achieve one of these, I need to close the game completely out, restart the game, and make sure when I load my game that it loads correctly. And then I have to play another save. This is what quality testing is, by the way. It's not just playing the game once and being like, it's good. No, it's, yeah, I've got to do that. I've got to make sure it loads correctly. Then I've got to close it again, start a new save, and get to that point, or get to the next point. That's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to do like a stagger, right? Like going up steps to where I'll play one save to a point, exit out, reload it, make sure it works, exit out, next one up to the next step, or the one beyond it, exit out, check it, exit out, go to this one, bring it up to the next one. I'm going to do that and alternate both of them. 2 saves. Playing through the whole game like technically 2 times, but very slowly. This is what I plan on doing to make sure that every step of the way, everything's saving correctly. Everything, when I load the game back up, is returns to the point that I was at before. And during the course of all of that, I should be able to iron out any other bugs. At least I want to get rid of anything that could possibly be like a game-breaking bug, right? I'm looking for anything that causes your save to corrupt, or your progress to get lost, or, you know, like a catastrophic failure. So yeah, I'm gonna test the game very hard for the next like day or 2 or 3. So yeah, it's just gonna be me playing the game over and over and over again. I added some new stuff here. This 100% complete. Honestly, this could have just been a true false. But I ended up doing like, if it equals 0, it means you haven't completed the game. If it equals a 1, that means you completed the game, but you failed to get 100%. And if it's a 2, you completed the game and succeeded to get a 100%. Got all the key bindings in here. These are just all the default stuff. Default options. Anytime I run this, I'm basically just making sure that all of these things run without causing any issues. I had a problem before, which caused me to do this, to where my controller wasn't getting set right, and it was causing my game to crash. And because it wasn't getting set right, anytime I tried to like reload the game, it was loading it with the bad options. So I was basically like completely hard locked out of my game until I was able to like change the correct thing to stop the crash long enough to reset the options. And then after that happened, I was like, okay, I need to make it to where that'll never happen again. So I'm gonna have to test lots of different controller stuff. I really wish I had more controllers to test with, but I don't really have that option. So I'm just gonna try my best with that. Maybe there is an online software. I bet there is. Something like, instead of using hardware controllers, I can probably do like software controllers to test different stuff. I should look for that. That's a good idea. Where did I write that down? Oh, I wrote it down here on my piece of paper. Yeah, that doesn't help me right now. Okay, I need to write that down. Let me do that. Yeah, I'm going to try and stress test controllers. And then I'm going to look into software controllers. I'm sure that's a thing. Somebody's probably come up with that idea to make like basically controller emulators for testing. So yeah, and all that. Okay, let's play. Talked about it enough. Let me make sure all this is good though. If I go over into this, there's a black screen, but the game capture is on this time, so you should be able to see what I see once I start it up. I'm gonna have to like restart the splash screen because I want you to see it from the very beginning, but it should be good. I think I gotta rebuild textures again. Oh, no, it's working. So right now it's doing the start screen thing where it's loading all these textures. So when I said right, up till... Ooh, it is taking a bit of a long time. That was probably like, I mean, it wasn't that long, right? That was like 15 to 20 seconds. And the game's loaded right now. So when I said right now to then, that's how long it took to actually load all the textures. Okay, let me swap this. You should be able to see my screen. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is I made it where the mouse cursor actually goes away during like the credits, the splash screens, the different cutscenes. It'll still be on screen, but it'll actually hide, kind of like it does in the world map. So yeah, I spent a bit of time doing all that stuff. There's a lot of like small things that I did. So I mentioned most of everything, but there's probably more that I'm even forgetting. As you can see, the way it loaded though, if I go into like the options menu, before if I would like go to this cursor thing, it would like stutter, right? But now it's just loading instantly. If I would open this, it would take a little while to actually load it up. So that's working fine. Oh, real quick, I want to hit F1 to reset my controls. And then I want to change my gamepad. I noticed my gamepad, the dead zone wasn't working before. Yeah, see, I don't know what happened to my controller. I ended up, well, I do. I ended up updating my drivers, and it broke some stuff. I lost 2 zip drives from the update of my drivers, and I don't know how to restore it, so that sucks. But as you can see, this is a good example of why a dead zone is important, because it's showing that the controller is constantly pushing down, right? And that's because the dead zone is constantly being activated now. And this wasn't a problem before, but I have to set this thing like all the way up to 7.5 or something to make the dead zone actually, or make it kick off. Yeah, it's up to 7.1. Now it's finally not reading it. I don't know what happened to make that a thing, but this is why I'm glad I added this in. Otherwise, it would constantly cause the ship to move down. But there we go. I need to change that option at the least. I'm gonna save that. Okay, now let's restart. And you can see my fancy little splash screen. Ah, I like it. It's corny. It's very fast, very simple. I just wanted like this little shine to go over it. The eyes light up, and then the whole thing lights up, and I have the wings. This is very much like if you've seen in my YouTube my old intro scene. Yeah, I did it kind of based off of that, but created my own thing. I thought about redesigning Coolio Wing one final time. I like what his head looks like. That's why I decided not to mess with it anymore. But we'll see. I'm pretty happy with that. It's a nice little sprite. And it's on brand for me. So I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit new game. New save. Did we go through all? I guess we can go through everything. Oh, real quick. This thing can be skipped by just pressing cancel, by the way. So yeah, you can skip my my cutscene. All you got to do is press escape or cancel or control, whatever your cancel button is. I was gonna do it on any key, but anytime I wanted to like full screen the game, it would close my splash screen. I thought that was annoying, so I ended up just putting it on the cancel key. So I might like add like the space bar or something, because that's something that people would tend to press, like space bar and enter. Maybe not enter, because that alt enter is a way to full screen the game. We'll figure it out. I need to reset again, which means the dead zone's gonna reset. I really need to fix like my dead zone to where I don't have to reset it every single time. And I can reset my game without worrying about it. Or figure out what the hell went wrong there. Hopefully I don't have to reset again. Alright, let's go ahead. Should I read it? I'm not going to read it. Let's just look at it. Got the nice little star getting bigger. Oh yeah, so yeah, as you can see, mouse cursor here, but if I leave it right on the screen, it will hide after 5 seconds. I've read this stuff so many times now. Alright, we've started the game. Brand new game. Nothing is on. I'm just going to look around the map real quick. Nothing should be here. Everything should be gone. There shouldn't be any mini bosses or stages available. Looks like everything's good. One thing I haven't really tested, but if I go into like this area right here and just go into a stage, I'll make sure. Yep, we go into a good stage. So yeah, we got the ship here. It bobs up and down. We got backgrounds now. Makes things look a little nicer. Collect an item. Oh, take it back. Welcome back. What do you got there? So, hopefully this looks nice. This is actually the first time I'm going to see this scene. Yeah, it looks a little cleaner. I just cleaned up some of the lines from scaling it up. I like it. It's better. At least it's passable now. Doesn't bug me as much. Cool. How was that one done? Go fight the jellyfish, I guess. But now that we've done that, we can start getting charges to our mini games. And then once we collect enough for the mini game, it starts gathering charges, so we don't really like miss out on the mini games anymore, which is cool. Anyway, we gotta do a couple stages before we'll get any mini games. I'm gonna do, during my playtesting, I want to average how much loot you get from each one of these different stages, so I can have an idea of like how much each stage is worth and each mini game is worth. There she is. So yeah, I'm gonna end up just like playing each of the stages a bunch of times until I have a good idea of what the numbers are for each different thing, and then I can adjust how much you make on each stage so that they feel worth your time. Like minigames should probably pay a lot more than other things because they're kind of like a rare thing. Bosses should pay pretty well, and then each of the stages should get more and more lucrative the deeper you go for your time investment. I'll probably do something to where I like count how much time I spend in the stage as well, so I can figure out like a loop per minute or whatever to get a better idea. Let's do a plain mini game. So there's the ready. Here's the rings. All you gotta do is fly through it and you get it. There's a shell ship in the background. And there's different patterns for the rings, kind of like there's different patterns for the fish. So it's kind of how that works. I think this one, pretty simple. It just kind of like alternates bottom, middle, top. And it gets more complicated as you get into like the deeper sea stages to where more rings will come. And then in the deep sea stage, they're random, but they're random based on a distance from where the previous one was. So you'll never get it to where they're like on the top and the bottom of the screen. You can always like get to them basically. You get a lot of loot from these stages. I'm also going to be checking to see how long, or what day it is by the time we get through the game. Actually, now that I think about it, after doing the first minigame is a really good place to put this first cutscene. Instead of making it to where when you go to port, I love the idea that I should totally do that. I'm gonna do that. After you do your first minigame, you should get this first cutscene. And yeah, because there's two of them that appear, so you should be able to do, you should have to do the fishing minigame and the plane minigame to get these two cutscenes. I love that. We're gonna do that. That solves this issue. I do gotta make sure it doesn't mess up anything with the order of my game. I might have to do something to where I ensure that the mini game appears close to the player on the first time it spawns so that the player knows about it too. Because I don't like that idea that we just had a mini game, but now we still have to go back in to turn our jellyfish in. I always thought that was kind of weird. But if I do it on the plane mini game or the fishing mini game, I think it'll be a little bit less jarring. I'm gonna start skipping cutscenes now. So, okay, that was one mini game, but we shouldn't have the fishing mini game yet. Seems like that's correct. We'll fight another boss. Oh, what happened? What happened to the background fish? I swear this shader, the blurry shader that I've been using, sometimes it does weird stuff, and that's definitely a weird one. Well, at least now we're aware of it. I'm gonna have to come up with like a new shader for blurring stuff. Maybe I'll write my own. Every time I use the blur one, I don't know, I've never seen this happen before though. That one's crazy. I'll have to look at that. Alright, let's write that down. I'm starting to make a new list of crap I have to write down. I hate when I do that. Oh, I hit F1. Well, luckily I can change the options right here. Oh, but that means I lost all my progress in the game. Oops. Okay, I gotta make sure I turn off the F1 thing, I think. I don't want to accidentally be losing the progress. Oh, look, it's at 69 now. Is that here? There we go. Blur shaders. Yeah, I mean, it's good that I find bugs like that. While playtesting, that's the whole point of it. Oh, but because I did that, I lost my item too. Crap. Does that mean the item will come back? I don't think it will. Maybe I probably have to leave the stage and come back in. And that'll make him show back up? Technically, you wouldn't be able to reset all the buttons. That should never happen in an actual game. Oh yeah, another thing I added. I don't know why I hadn't done this from the start, but I just set the X and Y coordinate to a button press, so I can always turn it on and off if I want to. I should probably like come up with a command console. That would be a really cool idea, where I can actually like change things on the fly. I don't have to like exit out every time. But anyway, this thing opens up where it shows me my X and Y coordinate, and it shows me how much progress I've made, which is that progress 0. And all those zeros there, those are the 50 zeros that are the progression points in the game. So right now everything's set to 0. That means my entire game just got reset because I pressed F1 on accident. So shit, I gotta restart the game basically. We should be able to get back to where we were pretty quick though, especially if I start skipping stuff. And I just start jumping out of stages real fast. Oh. Oops, almost died there. Gotta ride them, get out, deliver it, unlock. Skip. I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have the maybe I should have the mouse actually hide in the dock window as well, so it doesn't force it to appear. I might do that. Alright, I'm gonna write that down. Hide cursor in dock. Okay. Oh, ran out of breath. That's embarrassing. I did something to where I'll lose my loot here, but I'll gain it right back when I exit the stage. I should. So I have 1 loot still. Because I want to track how much economy I have. I don't want to be losing everything every time I die. We do get the progress for a minigame though. That's kind of cool. Maybe we get to see another layout. No, I think this is still the 3rd one. The same one we saw before. I really like adding the background to the game. I think it made like a huge difference. Just making things look more interesting. I also really like the idea of adding these rings. That was one of my late night going to sleep ideas that I'm constantly cursed by. It is a curse because I can't sleep until I write them down. But that one turned out to be a really good one. Yeah, that would have been a great place to have the first minigame, or the first cutscene. Make sure we breathe this time. These guys don't have any problems with the blurring in the background. They look fine. I wonder why the salmon changed, but nothing else did. Yeah. Let's do this. Skip. Man, they're still messed up. It's such a weird one. I don't even know why it happens. I didn't change anything with like the size of their sprites or the objects or like I haven't done anything with these guys. The screen resolution's the same. The only thing that might be it is the way I loaded the textures, but yeah, that's just a weird one. I don't know. I don't think I changed anything else to cause that. That would be a good one to add on the fishing minigame. Because that guy's fishing. Okay, so we just unlocked the depth finder. I'm kind of curious if I go ahead and exit the game. It should save. Also, before I do that, let's see what our progress looks like. We've got 18 progress points. So some of these numbers are set to 3. Those are the items that we've collected. I might have wanted to do something to where I spread these out so I knew what they actually are. But the idea is, at the end of the game, I should be able to see, like, if I'm missing certain ones, I can look at this list and see which number I'm missing, and then go figure out which one it is. But hopefully when I reload the game, all of this is exactly the way I left it. I'm gonna try that. In fact, I think I'm gonna quit all the way out and then do that. But this is our thing. We got 18%, which is what we had here. Yep, 18. All the numbers have been reset here, but that's fine. As soon as I load this game, it should reset them all back to what they're supposed to be. All right, I'm gonna quit all the way out, and I'm gonna reload the game. Screen will go black for a little bit, but I just want to test this because I've been curious to make sure I fixed all this. There we go. Back to our splash screen. Yep. That's a lot of work for something that you're going to skip over. Alright, so open this back up. Here we are. Everything's on screen correctly. Our time is the same we left it. All those numbers look about right. And we're at 18. The important bit here is the this thing on the UI. This was disappearing before, but now it seems good. I want to check also when I get the map to make sure I'm going to do it again. But for now, we can go ahead and continue to progress. Go find this area. Unlock the alien. It seems like he's going a lot faster than before. Oh, that's right. I slow him down when he's tracking you, so he's easier to outmaneuver. There you go. Eels drop their stuff. And he goes back home. We got a piece of the map now. We have to finish getting the rest of the map though, or we can't collect anything else. This is over here. I could continue to fight ills, but that one's in a really dangerous spot, so I am kind of waiting here. There's a crab to entertain me. I do wonder about making something to speed up the anchor if you wanted to. I think that's one of the only things that I don't have a way to exit stages, but the idea with not being able to exit stages is that's the risk you take when you go into it. You have to survive until the timer's done, right? But it just happens to be on a stage like this one. There's not really much of a threat in these stages as long as you don't, you know, move to a place that gets you killed. There we go. I got them all. Also, this lets the player get bored and try and fight these things and lose all their all their progress. I don't know if it's such a bad thing. Oh yeah, there should be a fishing minigame on the map somewhere. Let's look for it. I thought it would be in the shallows though, so where is it? Oh, there's the alien. I forgot about him. He's chasing me. I just saw it on the depth finder without sound effects. Not really a great warning. Yeah, there's no fishing minigame yet. I'm gonna have to look at that. I wonder why not. Maybe I didn't activate it or something. Oh, I might have done something to where they both can't be on the same screen and I forgot to turn that off. That might be something I did. I'll have to look at that. Oh, I made it to where the rings move just fast enough to where if you miss them, you can't back up and get them. So if you're too close to the right side, you might end up missing out on rings because of it, if you don't know where they're coming from. But the hitbox is actually pretty big for the rings too, so it's not that hard to get. Right, so now that that minigame's gone, I would expect to still see the fishing minigame somewhere, but I still don't see it. Makes me think I've screwed something up. Alright, yeah, I'll have to double check why the fishing minigame's not showing up correctly. That was something I actually wanted to show off here. How about now? Still don't see it. It should show up in the shallows first, if I did it right. Oh wait, I don't need to be here. Actually, where's the eel at? Eel should be here as well at this point. Is a crab here? Okay, I feel like something's messed up with my progress. Whoa, he teleported. Yeah. None of the... Is that because... I don't remember if I changed something to change the way the mini-bosses spawn. I might have. Alright. I'm writing this stuff down real quick. Oh, maybe it's you have to get the scuba suit. I haven't done that yet. I mean, technically that's what you would do now. So let's do that. Maybe that's what I did. Yeah, because we can get this now too. There we go. Now we got the map. Oh, there he is. Okay, so that's what the mini bosses is. Now they're both here, but what about the fishing minigame? It's still not showing up. If I saw, like, oh crap, crab boss. If I saw birds, like, over the land or something, then I'd know the fishing minigame is there. Because, like, it's hard to miss the fishing minigame if there's all those birds over it. Ooh, that was close. Okay, this is an interesting point in the game. We've got... Oh! Almost ran into him. We've got 28 progress. Bunch of stuff unlocked. I wonder what that 5 is. What is that 5? I should put how many minigame charges we have on this as well so I can track that. Let me go ahead and stand on this spot so the alien doesn't bother me. Okay, so this one did work fine. I can cross that out. Minigame. Charge. Alright, made a note of that. Alright. Yeah, I don't remember what the 5 is. It might be an item, but I don't remember an item. Oh, it's the map. That's right. The map goes to 5. Okay, so 28. All those numbers. Let's go ahead and quit out again. This was the one that was broken before, right? Because this map wouldn't show up after I went into the shipwreck stage. So I need to test this. So we still got 28. It looks good. I'll quit out again. Play it again. Actually, I should probably have looked at the fishing icon stuff right now, because I would really like to get that working. I'll do it. I'm gonna reload the game after I do the shipwreck stage. Built 28, everything looks good there. Maps on the screen, that's good. These numbers look correct. I think we're good. Alright, I think I've fixed those issues. We still got the item we wanted. Ooh, if I go, can I discover the shipwreck right now? I shouldn't be able to because I'm carrying an item. So if I can, I made a mistake. Yeah. That's a mistake, because I shouldn't be able to go into this stage while carrying an item. Oh, I guess it's fine, but the item doesn't actually show up here where it's supposed to be, because I'm carrying something. So I at least made that, you know, that saves me from that. But if a player was playing and they came here, they wouldn't have a clue what you're supposed to do here, right? Because there's no item here. So they might not come back and realize that there was supposed to be something here. I don't know, the last stage had something in it though, right? So I think I want to make it to where you can actually discover the stage if you're carrying an item. I'm gonna do that. God, I get so many bugs or things that I want to change every time I play this game. But the map did go away because I've discovered this area. We're not rediscovering it or anything, so that's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and quit out, I guess. Oh, it's becoming nighttime, by the way. Let's check that out. This is the first time we've actually had a night while playtesting the game. Kind of cool. All right, let's turn this item in. Yeah, I don't like that it reveals the map every time you go in to the dot, even if you don't use it. Okay, let's save and quit here. We're at 32. One of these numbers is a 2 because I didn't actually purchase that item. Go back to title so it saves and then quit. And I'm actually gonna edit some of this stuff real quick. Not that one. This one. Okay, why is my fishing thing not showing up? Alright, global stat night is definitely not above 7. This is a weird one. Why is this here? Look at the other one. Wait, yeah, why is this here? It's not on this one. Is that some like residual thing where I copied and pasted? I have no idea why this is here. Because that doesn't make any sense for me to check to see if the controls are on or not. The controls, if they're ever on, it would destroy it. So why the hell would I ever want to do that? I feel like this is some residual thing that I left in here and forgot to remove. But I'm gonna keep it there for a second while I think about this. Oh no, that's... yeah, this is create. Oh, it's backwards, I guess. This is a step event. Okay, so if the night box is on and our global controls are active, then it destroys its thing. So that's to say, if we're like zooming in and it turns the night, that's right, I added that. The problem here is I mixed these two up. And that's why we're having this error. I added the, okay, I do remember doing this, but this is in the wrong spot. And that's why it's not showing up. There we go. That was to stop it to where if you were going into the area, but the time shifted into night, before you actually went all the way in. It could cause a crash. Alright, so that's what my problem was. I think that'll fix that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and write that off. Okay, another thing I wanted to do then is on the controller. First, this F1, I am going to disable this so I don't accidentally reset my controls. And then on this press O, to do the press O thing, all I do is I set this variable to be on or off, depending on if you press the button. And if it's on, then you show this stuff. That's really how that works. But I want to add below this, that one should have been 40, so this is 60. And this is going to be fishing minigame. The string will be, I think it's called fishing charge? Yeah. I'm going to track how many charges we have on our minigames. Oops. Also, I was thinking that 100 might be too much on these. Do like 50. Oh. Might as well do that dock thing. To do the dock, it would be in here, I think. So this hide timer. Actually, I think it's inside the step event. Yeah, all the different cutscenes I'm just going to add here. I don't remember what my dock room is called. Port. These are all the rooms that I want the hide timer to actually increase on. I'm adding the port in there. Alright, that should fix that one. At least all these little bugs and stuff, yeah, they're numerous, but they're also very simple fixes. The blur one would be a little more in depth. The other one, changing the cutscenes and discovering sites, I'll do those later. Let's go ahead and play again. Unfortunately, the way I had my game set up, because I quit, my minigame charges reset every time you quit, so I won't get those back. It's not a big deal. Most people wouldn't care that they lose their minigame charges. See the new stuff. Progress is 32. And now we have the fishing minigame and the plane minigame charges. Go in here, 32. That's what we had, right? Yeah. Still nighttime. Numbers look right. There's a 2, a 3, a 5. Yeah, our charges are back to 0, and mini games won't show up at night because that's just how I had it set up. But this is a good time to farm the charges, basically. We can fight the eel. Let's do that. It's nice to fight the eel at night. Ah, there he is. The sharks give a little more money now. Gives you something to do while you wait for the stage to end. Oh god, that's dangerous. Where are the sharks go? There they are. They're just spawning too low. Ooh, I got it. It's nice to see everything actually like loading quickly for a change. So used to everything like none of the textures being loaded. Looking at this car right here, I want to see it drive off. Go away. Ah, why can I still see him? Okay, well look at that. This car still hasn't moved. The alien light not go away. Oh look, it drove off. Oh, I missed it. I guess we'll go ahead and fight this guy. So I'm pretty sure it's next to impossible to get the amount of damage you need on him to get the tail, unless you're fully upgraded and in a deep stage. It might be possible if you spam really hard, and it's not going to break anything if you get it early. But all the damage you do to the alien does make it take longer until it has to spawn again. So you do still get something for your effort. I think next thing I need to do is actually upgrade. I'm curious what my stats are though. So we've gained one playing minigame from the stages we've done, but it won't show up while it's dark. So, okay, I think the next thing I need to do is get the suit. So I have to unlock the first, the first 4 of these. I really should set it up to where when you do a research thing, it takes you back to port and not back to the world map. The reason I was avoiding that, I'll write that down real quick, is every time you go to port, I have this little animation play where the ship comes in. I'll just have to do something to make it to where the ship is already there. When you exit the cutscene. But yeah, I'm gonna do that to where anytime you unlock something, you should go back to the port menu. Going all the way back out is kind of dumb. Really could put some animation on that, couldn't I have? At least some little waves or something. Alright, we got their next item. Means the bosses are now on screen. We can see them like lit up and stuff now. Kind of cool. Swimming around. I thought I did something to make it to where the player can't move while you discover an area. The player's moving. Alright, I'm gonna look at that one. I definitely set it up to where the alien goes away if you ever discover an area. I remember doing that. And these guys got a lot of health. But we got upgrades now. Oh, and they chase you. That's alright. Don't have to worry about them going away. I don't think I've tried exiting from a stage. Ooh, this might be a cheat. So we're at 46, 0, and 1. If I exit, I think I'll lose my plane minigame. I'd like to test that too. I'm pretty sure that's what'll happen. So let's try that. So 46, 0, and 1. We've also got this item. I don't know what'll happen if I exit mid-stage. Because I never really thought of that. It's totally something you could do. And technically you'd just get out with the item, wouldn't you? 46. Yeah. Okay, that's a cheat. I should probably set it up to where if you exit a stage, you lose your item. I don't care if you keep your loot. I was just thinking about that when I was in there. I guess that's a nice little cheat, but I'm gonna disable that. There's no cheating for you. There we go. So, oh yeah, and we did lose our plane minigame thing. Everything else looks right though, besides our stolen item here. Oh, I just noticed when you go into port, there's no nighttime port. I need to do a nighttime port. Why haven't I thought of that? That won't be too hard to do. I just do a nighttime sky. Which I probably already have some that I can just use. With some stars in the background. I'll do that. Okay. There we go. There he is. I guess I didn't notice that because I don't really play the game at night since I've had like the port actually unlocked. It just hasn't been nighttime in the game. Ooh, it's daytime. Cool. So playing minigame, I don't even think I've unlocked it. No, not yet. But we should be able to see our minigame showing up again. Do a couple stages. I'm pretty sure I can just do this to cheat some minigames in too. Just plain minigame, there it is. So it did show up in the correct spot, which is the C level now, at this point in the game. Yeah, way more rings now. I'm hitting them all. I'd love to see somebody become really skilled at this. Just the speed of the bullets makes it very hard to hit the target, but I've seen some playthroughs of actual Jaws game where speedrunners can hit like every single one of the enemies on them minigame stages. It's nuts. I want to do the fishing minigame this whole time. So I haven't got it. Nope. No. There it is, fishing minigame. There it is. Finally see it. So it's in the shallows, that's where it's supposed to be. Alright, this would have showed up a lot sooner if I had it active, I believe. Here we go. Fishing minigame, ready! I can hide that too. So yeah, this is what it ended up looking like. Cast. So if I bring my lure on top of this fish and press the button, he should grab it. And then yeah, it works kind of like Breath of Fire 3. You put the icon over the fish and it drags it to the left. Oh, I ended up putting this little white bar, this tension meter, here instead of just being the fishing rod because it was, I don't know, it's just nice to have something you can look at right there to see what's happening with your tension. If you're like pulling too much when you're not on the fish, you can see it going down. These guys aren't too hard to catch because they're like basic enemy, or they're basic fish. They're basically just for training. But if they ever pull outside of the screen in any direction, then it will cause the line to snap as well. You'll start losing tension. But yeah, you can see if he's tired, you can reel him in. And then after the salmon get tired really easy is kind of like how they're supposed to work. And then yeah, they pull away. When he starts fighting, he'll go all the way to the side and it's hard to even, you can't even bring him back. But after he's done fighting, he goes back to being tired. And because he's so fatigued now, it's just really easy to bring him in. That means you don't have to play it for too long. So you see if I drag the lure along the top, the salmon comes after my line. So these guys, yeah, there's not really any threat to losing or, you know, failing at this, as long as you're not reeling in when you're not on the fish. But other fish, just having your cursor off the fish will cause you to lose tension. And I can finally show like what happens if you fuck it up too. Hey, there's a pink bird. That's rare. Nice. Yeah, oh, I'm trying to get this perfect throw. I'm really happy with the way the fishing thing came out. I'm good at making fishing minigames. I'd like to make this a little more in depth. I was just really sick of it by the time I was done with it. But I actually really had fun making a little fishing minigame. Maybe my next game will just be all about fishing. I'll make my dream fishing game. Though it was fun to dabble in it, in this game. I'm glad I did it. The jellyfish are real easy. I don't know if I'll be able to get this guy. As long as I can get the hook on him. There we go. I think I set something up to where once that pink seagull shows up, I don't know if they respawn or not. I need to look at that because I'm seeing a lot of pink birds. If I see another one, that means that the birds are actually stacking. It was not intentional. That or we're just getting an extremely rare bird over and over again. Now he's back. Okay. I think birds are stacking. Which I guess isn't a terrible thing, but it could cause like a memory leak. I need to make sure that birds go away in these stages. Or they reach a certain limit and then they stop spawning. I guess I can show what happens if he goes out of stage. I don't have to catch them all. I'm gonna write this thing down while we wait for that to happen then. Fishing bird limit. Run out of room on my paper already. Damn, the fish hasn't left yet. Well, these fish can actually move left and right. He should, like, go running to the right every time, though. There he goes. So you'll see, once he gets off the screen, there goes the tension. Pop. And it breaks after being fully red for a little while. Still a little challenging to hit a perfect throw. Yeah, it looks like we're getting more and more birds like stacking up. Or maybe that's just a set number of birds on screen. I don't remember what I did. I just need to make sure birds aren't infinitely spawning, because that would be really bad. Sometimes they're annoying. They'll get right next to it and then they'll take off. It's kind of funny. Well, that works great. We're gonna fight more mini bosses. Ooh, I'm doing the shark. But I remember how to fight these guys. Oh, it lasts a lot longer than I remember. I should change the image blend of this one. Like, I changed the image X scale so it faces the other direction, but I can also change the blend of it to just make it look a little different from the other stages, so it's not so obvious that I just flipped it. I can make it like brown or something. I think I'm gonna do that. Oh, I totally forgot, but the duck, I think we missed it. I made it to where the duck is like, has a 100% chance to spawn on this stage. But if you're not at the top of the screen, you won't see it. Just because the duck is really important for completion of the game. Yeah, I think we missed him. Alright. Let's do shark boss. Brown boat. Okay, that's another one to the list. Cough. You know, I haven't really tested that, but if you exit immediately, do you still get the item? I think you can't actually exit the screen until the item fully appears. I'm gonna test that with this item. Also, I really should have got my upgrade back, huh? That's right, going up and down is the most dangerous thing you can do in this stage. Nope, killed him. It caused some lag. I think my lighting system still causes lag if there's too many items on screen. Might want to look to optimize that. Okay, so I want to go into port and exit immediately. Or try to. Oh. So it didn't complete, so the item's still in my inventory. That's kind of odd, but I guess it's fine. A little weird. As long as it completes, it'll take it out of the inventory and you still get credit for it. But I guess that's okay. It's a little, yeah, it's a little weird, but... Also, I guess I should test where we're at right now. Progress is 60%. Haven't got any more mini games yet. Yeah, this one's annoying. Or it's tough. I tried to make him appear lower on the screen, so he's more likely to be in this dark area. But it looks like he can still kind of show up right in the light area. I might want to restrict him to be a little bit lower too. I don't know, he's pretty high right now. Maybe I didn't change it at all. I guess one of the things that makes him dangerous is you don't know exactly where he's at. I'm not getting any like frame issues here. I do feel like it's the lighting system in a large stage when there's too many objects. It causes frame drops. That seemed okay. I'm really happy with both the minigames, I gotta say. This one's a lot more fun with the inclusion of the rings, where you have to like fly up and get them, and then you're still like focusing on the bottom, trying to kill as many things as possible. It's just really fun. When I get like sound effects too, I just feel like this is gonna be one of the, it's actually gonna be really nice part of the game. Was that all of them? That's all of them. Yeah, getting kicked out every time, like if you wanted to collect a bunch of them, is really annoying. I'll fix that. Oh, that looked kind of weird. Yeah, I never seen that happen. I know why it happened, because they both faded out at the same time. I guess it's not an issue, it's a little strange. But yeah, you were able to see through one and see the other one. It only happens in the stages where it's in that bottom left, or bottom right. Unlocking all those, unlocks this. Okay, I unlocked all this stuff. Kiddo. Everything's looking good here. Lots of 3s and 5s. Lots of 1s. I wonder which one's the fishing ones. I think the fishing ones are somewhere in the middle. Cutscenes are in the front. Items are clearly where the 3s and 5s are. We're at 72%. I wonder... I would love to know what all my numbers are. I should have like labeled them or something. There's enough room on screen. I could have had all 50 of them laid out there. Okay, so I want to save and exit, I think. What are we at? 72? Okay. Title. Quit. Oh, what happened there? I think we're good. Reload. It's 4 o'clock. I need to wrap it up here. It's too bad I didn't get to show more of the fishing minigame. I might just like show that real quick then. I'm gonna make sure this works. At least I got some of my playtesting done, and I found a ton of stuff I wanted to fix. So things are working well. Something's going on with the game. It's like doing a rebuild from scratch, which is weird because we were just playing the game. It's loading. Give a sec. They had to like redo textures again. But I didn't change anything, so I don't even know why I did that. $72. Things on the screen, that's good. All this looks the same. Oh, this guy shows up. Oh, right, because we've got the submarine. Now the enemies randomly spawn. You can see the salmons here, or the bosses. And they can kind of just show up anywhere, I think. Some of them have like certain areas that can only show up. Like the deep sea ones, I think can only show up in the deep sea. But I think like the crab can be anywhere or something, I don't remember. So yeah, we can fight the bosses again. Let's go ahead and fight the shark again. Now that we got this, it should just give its loot and not drop any items. Oh, here, I said I was going to quit, and here I am playing some more, fighting another boss. Ooh, that was close. Oh, I forgot about the duck. This is one of the reasons for doing this, is I can get the duck. There he is! Got him! Ooh, we got the duck upgrade. It looks so dumb when it's on the submarine. So yeah, this duck is one of the progression points. It's a secret, rarely appears, but it is guaranteed to show up as long as you're fighting this shark. And it basically just gives you an extra hit. So if we get hit, you see the duck gets popped. And yeah, there it goes. Turns into confetti, which is really sad. Yeah, there we go. Just get a whole bunch of loot. I think it should just kick us out now. Yeah, cool. Well, that works great. So just another way to, yeah, you can keep fighting bosses. Keep getting stuff. Look, yeah, the eel's here now. Jellyfish is there. And they just like, they have like a random chance to show up once you like have the submarine and you've unlocked everything. And you're on the final stretch of the game. But anyway, I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna look at what I got to. I got to 74. That duck was the last two there. Oh God, he's coming for me. Alright, I'm cool with that. Go back to title. Quit. Actually, I could just quit from there. It should save anyway. Ooh, we're back. Alright, so some more stuff to fix there. But before that, I want to just do something here. Let's take a look at the different fishing mini games before I close the stream. I'm going to show the other stuff. So this will be the sea level. There we go. So yeah, more fish here. We got different types of fish. The stingrays and the octopus are in here now. I don't remember which one it is. I think stingrays are attracted to the bottom. Hard to get past them. Maybe it was anglerfish. It makes sense that anglerfish were attracted to the bottom. It could also be octopus. I know one of them, if you keep it like down here, it'll cause them to get interested in it. Let me catch a stingray. Oh, he ran away. And you can actually cheese it too if you can catch them like right on the catch point. You can get it pretty easy. I decided to leave that in there just because, you know, it's not easy to actually pull that off. Go for this octopus. This guy will fight a lot tougher. You can see it fly over there. But he gets tired really quick too. His movement's just supposed to be more erratic. But that also means he could just move straight to where the boat is. So it's just kind of luck. If they decide to move away from the boat, you're gonna have a lot more trouble. Oh, they're also stronger depending on how big they are. So the bigger they are, the higher their horizontal speed. I don't know if I showed that before, but yeah, it's just based on the scale. There we go. Catch a stingray. So the bigger ones fight harder, move faster, but they give you a bigger reward. These ones aren't too bad. Just a bit harder than the jellyfish and the salmon. Oh, they're lazy. He must have had a really long timer until his rage or whatever. He started fighting. Okay, so that's that. Let's look at the last one. The deep sea fishing. know, got anglerfish and sharks in this. The amount of fish you get is random. I shouldn't have done that. I'm gonna catch a salmon. Just blow it up. So the shark's the hardest one to catch. You kind of have to get him on a perfect throw. I think the anglerfish, yeah, as long as you're reeling him in while he's running, you end up losing tension, and he got off the screen there. But yeah, they're a lot harder to get. Yeah, look, he won't take it. See if we can get this guy. Oh, I'm gonna get him. I cheesed him. Too close. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can get this shark. So the shark causes like constant loss of tension if you're not doing it perfectly. He's also gets tired for a lot less time. But as long as you keep building his fatigue up, should get him eventually. And yeah, if you're not actually on it with the shark, you'll lose it. Oh, and he takes off. If you're not reeling him in, yeah, he'll get off the screen from you. So I ended up losing that one. If you want 100% completion of the game, you got to get a shark. Easy if he just stays there. Oh, there you go. You see the octopus was actually attracted to the bottom there. So I guess he was the one that likes the bottom feed. It makes sense. Ah, I got it. Okay, come on. Oh, this might be easy. Ah, it's never easy. Come on. Nope. Yeah, you really gotta. Oh, wait. Oh, no. You really gotta tire him out. There we go. I got that one easy. He was a small one though. See how little I got? That was like, I think the smallest you can get for a shark. You still get 4. I think if you get a big one, you get like 10 or something. Really good number. Anyway, that's fishing minigame. I showed it off. I need to do more playtesting. Oh, one thing, I didn't really show the credits of the game. I guess I could do that real quick. Let's show the credits off. And then we'll call the stream. It's already 4:30. Been up too long. Alright, here's the credits of the game. Put my avatar on it. And then I just kind of like plugged myself. Because I probably shouldn't say that. Anyway. And then Yuna, there she is. She's my producer. Yeah. Final score is 0. 76%. Your students score an F. So, technically you can't beat the game without at least scoring a 90, because all the progression stuff you need up to like beating the game, you need to do like 90% of the game to actually beat the game. And the last like 10 of them are to just get to 100%. And that was the final scene right there, if you fail to do it. So, yeah, from like 10 or from 90 to 100, you get like a better, or your students get a better grade, depending on how you do. So getting an F is actually like really hard to do. You'd have to miss out on all the bonus stuff, which means you never catch a fish, you know, you never find the duck, you never accidentally run into the dolphin, and you don't defeat Magal. Like all the bonus stuff, you'd have to like go out of your way to avoid everything to get an F. But it is possible, so it's in there. Okay. So, like I said, next couple days for me, I'm gonna be playtesting and putting these last little touches on the game, final touches. Basically, just doing balancing, pacing, checking out the economy of the game, seeing what my average loot and loot per minute is on stuff, making sure that enough time passes in the game. Stop, dog. Being really aggravating right now. Get out from under me, stupid. Go, 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 go. Anyway, yeah, all that stuff. Once all that's done, I've got to like learn audio. Just real quick. I think I can go ahead and close this out real quick. Let's walk over to that. What are you doing? Why are you being so weird? Yeah, here we go. Once I do all my play testing, and the next thing I got to do is I got to learn how the hell this thing works. This is what I'm going to be using in the future, FL Studio. There's a new version. I'll get that later. I'll need that. So this is my first impression of FL Studio, really. I've looked at it. I've never really used it. I have edited like one song on it, but I don't remember what the hell I was doing, and I had somebody telling me what to do. Yeah, I'm someone who makes games, and I've done programming. I've done like different animation things. I've done video editing and audio editing software. But when I look at this, I just like have no idea what I'm looking at. No, this doesn't look like anything else that I mess with. Look, like I'm just gonna have to like spend a few days watching tutorial videos to get myself up to speed for what all this stuff is, and then I just need to like play around with it, right? And then I don't know. I feel like the next month working on this, it's going to be a challenge. Not really a music guy, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. I don't really have the money to hire a composer either, so this is what the future is for me. So, okay. Anyway, that's it for this stream. think I really have anything else to say. Like I said, it might be another week before I'm actually streaming the audio portion of this. That's it. Goodbye. Okay, goodbyes.